To politics now. It's our weekly slot with Simon Bridges, the National Party leader. Good morning to you.
Morning, Guyon.
Two things I want to focus on. Mainly, I want to get to the government's family package, which kicked in yesterday. But I want to start on prisons and corrections policy. Listeners of the program, you may not have heard it because you're travelling, but we had Kelvin Davis on the program just before the 7:30 headlines. He was saying that the government, he didn't have these numbers of the prison population forecast increase before he made the decision to reduce the number of beds at Waikeria. What is your reaction to that?
I find that remarkable. I mean, if you read the report, it states quite clearly in black and white that it was finalised in November 2017 when the Justice Sector Chief Executives approved it. So what's been going on for the last several months? As I say, I find it remarkable. Actually, I'd have to say quite probably unbelievable.
Well, he definitely said that he hadn't seen the numbers when he made that decision.
I've got to say, ultimately you say, well, okay, we take him at his word. That is staggering incompetence from the minister and the government as the political arm of the government, because that Justice Sector report is a very formal report that goes to ministers. I can remember it as a minister and is discussed. And so I think it's important to know what has gone on there.
All right. Let's get to the families package. This was brought in yesterday, and the government's saying that 385,000 odd families are going to be 70, 75 bucks a week better off. This is good news, isn't it?
You look, it's good news for those families. I think ultimately, though, what's important to reflect on is that's a relatively small number of families. There are many more families who are not receiving it, and I would argue are worse off because they're not getting the tax relief that we were putting into place. And more than that...
hang on. The families who are receiving it are the ones who need it, right? The lower and middle income families.
Well, I would argue, in New Zealand at the moment, particularly with the costs coming on, costs of living going up, if you're a family where both parents are earning the average wage, you are worse off very much probably under this package, because you're not getting, or certainly not much of it. And if you've got children, you're certainly not getting the tax relief that we would have had. And I think whether you're on that families package, 380, 85,000 or not, or whether you're one of the vast majority that isn't, the costs are being piled on by this government, whether it's the fuel taxes, whether it's the increasing cost and compliance going on in terms of rentals that's really affecting the price. I think it's gone up 20-something bucks since they've been offered.
That's not really in the government's purview. That's not really...
Well, it is, in fact. I mean, it is taxes and it is compliance that they are putting directly on.
Let's have a look directly at what you would change about this package. The $60 a week for each child born until they turn one. Would you keep that? Yes or no?
Look, I can't answer it yes or no. I mean, as I say, I think people who receive it are well. What I can say to you...
Well, hang on. Why, it's not a hard question, is it? $60 a week they're going to give a family who has a newborn. Are you going to keep it or not?
Our view is that the better way to do things, rather than some of this package, is to have actually tax relief that hits more and provides a better
so that's gone.
Incentive.
The baby bonus is gone?
I'm not necessarily saying that. Look, if you look at that families package, I see at this point out it's important.
You can't say it's rubbish and then that you'll keep it, can you? Which is it?
Well, I think...
Are you going to keep it or not?
I'll answer your question clearly, I promise you. Let me make these 2 points, though. About 80% of that families package was already in train by us. I think when you come to the particular issue you're talking about, which is the baby bonus, I think the stark reality is it is not targeted necessarily. And so everyone's getting it. I receive it. I would prefer a targeted approach, so those who really do need it get exactly what they want.
And fair enough, and some people will say they like your argument, others won't. That's up to them. What I want from you is some definition. You appear to be saying you are against it, so that would go in all probability, would it?
To be clear, we're talking about the baby bonus. Yeah. I'm not suggesting it will go entirely. What I'm saying is I think a preferable approach, having not done the work on this in detail, but as a more targeted approach to those who really need help in that first year or first years of their children are getting it rather than just a spray and walk
fair enough.
away.
So can we get some definition, though? You can't say whether you'd keep it or not. You don't know?
I can't say exactly how we would change
All right.
it.
Changes to paid parental leave, those increases, you'd keep them?
That's correct.
Okay. The winter energy payment, that's gone under national.
Well, it would be changed because I think the reality is they were getting as superannuitants and beneficiaries the same sort of money under our tax relief package. And so we all accept, it's good to see those rising incomes for them.
So that's gone for wealthier people, though, is it?
I think we would provide assistance in different ways than just spray and work away.
The winter housing allowance is gone in its current form.
Well, I think some people will require it, some won't. Our tax relief package would have meant superannuitants got that sort of money anyway.
You can opt out of this, the winter housing allowance, can't you?
Look, the reality is people aren't going to do that. I'll be very surprised if we see many people. I mean, Winston Peters isn't. And so if he's not, I think it's surprising that you'll see others do it.
Are you encouraging people this morning? Are you encouraging people this morning who don't need the winter housing allowance to ring MSD? And I checked on their website, you can do this. Are you going to encourage them to do that?
No, absolutely not, because that's not my role as a politician. You've got a policy in place. It's a funding that the government is providing.
If you don't need it, and this is all public money, right? No, seriously, taken from people who work hard and many are struggling. What do you think? I mean, part of political leadership is moral leadership. Do you think that people should actually ring up MSD and say, nah, I'm a millionaire, I don't need your money?
I'm not going to make a moral judgment on it, but I suggest to you that the vast majority of New Zealanders will take it. By the way,
would you?
Under us, well, actually under us, with the tax relief after tax wages, they would have received about $700 more a year. So it's not a question of whether they deserve it or not, whether they're entitled to it or not. They would have got the same under us.
Because tax cuts reduce the average wage and super's linked to the average wage. That's how they would have got increased money, isn't it?
Correct.
Okay.
And I think the reality here overall on this, Guyon, is you've got a situation where it's a very small, targeted families package. That's not necessarily a wrong thing. Overall, though, you do have a government piling on the costs, and there's many more that are worse off.
We've been through that. Free fees for university, are they gone under national?
We're working through what we think about it, but it's no surprise to you.
Hang on, you do know what you think about it.
No, look...
You think the policy's a waste of money. You've had your spokesman tell us that in the programme.
There is one luxury, and I think probably only one we have in opposition, and that's the ability to take some time to work through what it is. Actually, there you've got the allowances going up. That's not necessarily bad policy.
Yeah,
but you're right, and you've had them on your show, the Vice-Chancellor and so on. I don't have to
make a call on it. Would it go under you or not, the free fees?
I certainly think it's $2.8 billion that could be better invested.
Right, so that's gone.
Well, we've got to work through exactly how we do it, how we might change it. But you've got to say, whether it's baby bonus, whether it's winter energy payments, whether it's $2.8 billion in free fees, it's a very spray and walk away sort of approach by the government.
Thanks for your time. Simon Bridges, the National Party leader. It's coming up to 7:45.
Well, in Auckland this morning, a motorcyclist has died following the crash on the northwestern motorway this morning. It happened at 6:40 a.m. Just near the St Luke's off-ramp. Now, the motorway is going to be closed for some